What's up, everybody? It's GoblinX, and welcome back to some more Magic Arena. Today, we've got another premiere draft of Final Fantasy. Without further ado, let's get into the pack one, pick one. Pretty average pack here, I would say, this time around. The Jumbo Cactuar, sadly not the greatest finisher in draft and sealed, because it can just be chump blocked over and over again, unless you try to get a multi-card kind of combo going for it to give it trample with something else. I think the most consistent way to do that is likely running a bunch of fat chocobos, because that card's already pretty good and it would give trample to the Cactuar, but it makes it not the most consistent or impressive finisher, where even just like the 6 mana 6/6 trample often plays better, as cool as that card looks. Graha's a reasonable card for any white deck with a lot of creatures. Realm Sketching is really fun in the blue-red spells deck, but not too good in anything else. Sir Conrad could be good in a graveyard self-mill kind of strategy, but Town Greeter is as well, while being good, a good way to make sure you keep hitting lands in anything. There's also Magitech Infantry, which is great in any of the white aggro decks in the format. So those were all the reasonable options, I think, there. And there was nothing really standing out above the rest for me. So I think any of them would be pretty reasonable options, just depending on whatever direction you feel like going in that draft. And I guess I'll actually start with the Realm Sketching, since we have been playing a few green decks in a row recently here. See if we can't end up in that blue-red spells deck that's really strong. There's Dragoon's Wyvern here for just another solid blue card to follow up the Realm Sketching. That's a pretty reasonable way to take it. Or we can go off color with Town Greeter to take a slightly better card. Or even if we really want to lock in on blue-red spells, take the Blazing Bomb here. It's a fine filler for that deck, but I don't think that that is good enough to take after the sketching. I'd rather just take the Wyvern, even if I am in blue-red in the end. And I think I'm going to go for the simple pick here and take that. Marlborough is another solid card. Certainly within that list of good stuff there. All right, pick three. This is a pack that is quite strong and really shows off how whatever you picked in pack one can kind of affect what you take here and affect the direction this draft goes quite a bit. Because if we did just take Town Greeter pack one, pick one, we could have taken another one pack one, pick two, and then just double Town Greeter Cloud of Darkness is a very good start towards green-black graveyard stuff. But Realm Sketching, Dragoon's Wyvern, and Swallowed by Leviathan is a perfectly solid start to an interactive blue deck. If we took the aggressive stuff, like the Magitech Infantry, we'd probably be towards some kind of black-white aggro deck here, taking Gaius. These are all reasonable cards. I'm going to just stick to the blue here, though, and grab the Swallowed by Leviathan based on the way we've drafted so far. Now pick number 4. If we're specifically blue-red spells, I do like Warrior's Sword as a spell that we can cast that counts as one of our creatures, basically, but triggers all of our stuff that cares about spells. Stuck in Summoner's Sanctum is fine, removal out of blue, somewhat filler, but most of the pack is somewhat filler anyway. Zac is the strongest card in the pack, just for any white-based aggro deck, protecting your better creatures later. But right now we have somewhat of a start towards a more controlling blue deck as well. I'm going to take the Stuck in Summoner's Sanctum here. Pick 5. Town Greeters still hanging out pick 5. Maybe a little criminally underrated in this draft pod. I think it's a strong enough card, again, just helping you guarantee your land drops, that we should probably take it here, even if it isn't exactly what we're doing right now. I highly doubt we get to pivot onto that, though. I mean, we passed a pretty late Cloud of Darkness, so somebody else should really be on that Golgari stuff. Take Fate of the Suncrist here, just a fine white removal spell. I mean, Scorpion Sentinel's not the worst filler blue card ever, and we could just really cut blue and send a massive green signal to our left, try to keep these players off green. Or keep these players on green, keep them off blue. Yeah, sure. I do like Scorpion Sentinel. Pick 6, Retrieve the Esper is very good in the deck that cares about casting 4 mana or greater non-creature spells. And most of this pack's pretty filler. That is the synergistic filler for us. Burial Unit is an okay finisher too. It's a cool card. But I like Retrieve better, because the best blue decks are the mana value 4 or better ones. Speaking of mana value 4 or better stuff, Call the Mountain Chocobo is a good card for that blue-red deck. Yep, we could have been a lot of directions here. I think the strongest one would have been if we were the green-black self-mill strategy. That's what we ended up getting past the most stuff for here. And just opening the most good stuff for. If we were on white-based aggro, we have a solid black-white aggro start with Rufus and a Phantom Train and a Gaius and stuff. And then again, if we're heavy blue, we've got a big start towards blue-red spells. That late call them out, Chocobo. Pick 8. This is a very mediocre pack for anything that we would have ended up drafting. Same with pick 9. Best stuff here is the black spells or the Graha. I mean, we would have been pretty happy to see this pack if we were on the black-white deck after drafting the Rufus and the like. I don't really want the Merchant unless I'm a really town-heavy deck where I can get the draw 3 more easily. Yeah, Graha, I guess, is fine. White has seemed maybe a tiny bit more open than black. Wow, criminally underrated town greeters in this pod. I'm taking the Blazing Bomb, though. That card wheeled around for blue-red spells. I'm part of the problem. I'm passing town greeters all over the place. But hopefully that just means these players on our left see the massive signal and hop on that. Yeah, we got a really reasonable start to blue-red spells. I mean, like, we don't have any, like, super bomby or super powerful signpost uncommon or anything here that, like, locks us into this strategy and really makes us want to play it. We've kind of just naturally ended up here taking a bunch of good blue cards and some good red cards. So yeah, we're missing like a banger of a spell. If we were on green-black, we would have that. We would have a Cloud of Darkness and be like, boom, this is our like incredible card that's really pulling us into this deck. We don't have one of those, but we have just a bunch of really solid role fillers for the archetype. Ah, that is draft for you, isn't it? Then you open up a green rare, and it's like, man, the green-black deck that would have been. Ultros is pretty nice in the blue-red spells deck. Or we just cut red and take this Esper Origins is just the strongest card. I'm not getting bullied by you, Arena. I'm gonna play the deck I want to draft. Get in here, Ultros. I'm sticking to it. Taking the best card for blue-red in every pack from here. That'd be Suplex now. Dark Confidant's a really cool card, but I don't think we really splashed that. I mean, it's got to be Cypher, right? Somewhat of a bomb. If he hits our opponent, flashes back like a suplex or something. Yeah, Cypher's really cool. Another Scorpion Sentinel. Oh, the town greeters. Could have had like 6 town greeters by the end of the draft, I bet. There's the green-black signpost uncommon. We got an aerial unit. That's about it. Here's a finisher. Another Stuck in Summoner Sanctum for interaction. This pack is rough. This pack is not good for anyone. The happiest drafter is probably the white deck getting a Paladin's Arms, but even that is not impressive. Ooh, okay, this pack's very good. Side quest card collection's great. Draw 3, discard 2, you get a 4/4 vehicle that crews for 1 relatively easily in the late game. It's good with our double Blazing Bomb. Good with our Ultros. The 0 Sahagin draft. We'll just have to play discount Sahagin. Little Blazing Bombs to juice up. To pack his butts. I'd like to cut the Nulis if I can. I think that's literally the only card in the whole deck that I like really want to cut. Yeah, this is perfectly fine. Really don't want another 4-mana card. You end up playing a whole ton of 4-mana cards in these blue-red decks because you have all the cards that care about mana value 4 or greater spells. It's like we've got 5 already. I really don't think we want to run any any creature 4-mana cards. We want them all to be non-creatures to trigger the bombs in the Ultros. I don't think we play any of this. All right, pack 3. I'm going to pray to open a Shantado or something, and then this deck is awesome. The blue-red signpost uncommon or Emperor of Palamecia, either of those two in this deck would be really good. Or it would be funny if we just open up another green-black rare or something. What the heck? Second Dark Confidant in the draft pod? Well, we'll just take a Sahagin here. I'm not going to splash towards Sir Confidant. Somebody's going to be very happy. I actually don't know if somebody's going to get both copies, though. Since this one's getting passed in the other direction, I doubt it made it, like, all the way around. Here's another side quest card collection. That's great. Cut these Newliths now. Might, for curve purposes, run the really filler free. Another card collection, or a Warrior's Sword, or a Lionheart. Esperama's just bad. I mean, we had like a Grixis deck that was tons and tons of spells, and it still really didn't do anything. Just dig through my old deck all the time with all these card collections. It's pretty funny. I feel like the uncommon distribution. Oh, baby, never mind. I was going to say, I feel like the uncommon distribution's been a little awkward for us in this draft pod where a ton of card collections got opened and then maybe only 1 or 2 Shantados that were taken by somebody else. But there we go. There's the Shantado, and we are looking good. Now, I think the only flaw that I see with this deck is it is a little bit low on removal-y stuff. Any, like, fire magics would have been really good in the deck, but we did not get any of those. So, a little bit low on interaction, but overall, this looks like a really solid blue-red spells deck that really found its way here in the final pack. And Ice Magic plays really great with Shantado and Ultros and all that. Yeah, we really got there with this this final pack. Even a Shiva here is another solid addition. Magic Damper's nice to protect Shantado. Reasonable with the Cypher as well. Another Retrieve the Esper for multiple 4-mana or greater cards. Let's cut the Freya. Let's cut the Ifrits. Let's cut the aerial units. One more cut can be made here. I might cut the 3rd card collection. The triple up might be a little overkill, but they are all good. I don't really think I can cut any of the removal like Stuck in Summoner's Sanctum, certainly not the Counterspell or the Bounce or the Suplex. Yeah, I cut a creature or I cut a card collection here. Another Scorpion Sentinel. I don't think I want to run a 3rd. So I'll plop that in the side. Definitely not running any Newliths. I think I'll cut 1 card collection and we should be good. How are we doing on triggers now? 4 mana value or greater non-creature spells, that is. Sketching, 2 card collection, 2 retrieve that I can flashback, call them out and chocobo I can flashback, and Ice Magic. This is pretty reasonable. 7 of them, 3 of them flashback as well. I want to go all in though. I could drop Shiva for another like card collection or something. They're actually somewhat comparable in power level. And all these card collections are kind of accomplishing the card draw aspect of the Shiva for sure, even if they don't really slow our opponent down like she does. Yeah, I think that's probably worth it. Another 4 mana greater card, and then we might even play the Warrior's Sword. Just play every 4 mana or better. 4 mana or higher non-creature spell. In which case, cut one of the earlier cards. We've got Triple Bomb on 1. So we are playing quite a few creatures to the board early. Even if I drop a Sentinel, that's still 5. That'll still be 6 2-mana or less creatures in the deck. Sure. Drop one of the Sentinels. Got a nice average blue-red spells deck here. Looks like a very fun one. Excited to see how it does. So without further ado, let's hop into the gameplay and see how far this one can take us. Alright, here we are on the draw for game number 1. Start things off with Scorpion Sentinel to hold down the fort for a bit, and then just start spamming 4 mana value spells, as you do. Opponent starts with Adelbert. Pretty scary card if they run out some more equipment alongside him. Could quickly overwhelm our Scorpion Sentinel, get too big. Airship Crash, blow up the Scorpion Sentinel. Fair enough, here's Shantado. If they don't have removal for Shantado as well, Shantado's really going to pop off this game. 3 ways to draw a card off her already. I am not blocking. Not going to allow our opponent to potentially combat trick Shantado out of here with this much value. Start with Warrior Sword over Cypher, because we just want to trigger Shantado as much as we can before they kill her. Find the Magic Damper if they don't get rid of her this turn. They are going to battle menu her. Sadness on the stack. But card advantage wise, that played out perfectly fine for us. We got rid of their removal spell and went up a card. Now we can run out Cypher as kind of our win con. Big scary double striker. I mean, even if Cypher's just giving Warrior Sword double strike each turn, that'd be pretty good. Which I kind of forgot about. Cypher doesn't just give himself double strike, he gives any of her creatures double strike. So I really should have played him pre-combat. Attacked with a double striking hero. That is my bad. It has been a while. We probably could have forced the chump there a turn earlier. That would have been pretty sick. We don't really have any good instant sorceries we need to recast right now, so I'm just going to keep sending in the bigger card. Now they just chump with Town Greeter? Oh, they don't. I will take that damage. We have a ton of instant speed options here, so I'm just not going to cast anything. Omega will counter that. I could Realm Sketching their Omega. But then I don't have to wait. I don't have a way to kill it once it hits the board. Yeah, we need to just swallow it. Mill a flashback card and get the 6th land to be able to flashback it. Feels good. Although I don't think I'm really doing that yet when I have Ice Magic and Magic Damper to hold up. Alright, we got the chump. Let's play the card collection. I think more mana is still pretty reasonable, but everything else is better. Bard's Bow. Very good with Adelbert. And then a Sid to buff the Bard's Bow token. Let's Ice Magic the token. To kill that, there's a Stuck in Summoner's Sanctum. Artifact, creature, land. Realm Sketching can't copy an enchantment, so I can't double removal here. Alright, well, they're already on exclusively chump still. Cypher Warrior Sword has been gross. I can Stuck in Summoner's Sanctum and Magic Damper. I could play the card collection, and if we hit lands, Try to play the 7th land to have Stuck in Summoner Sanctum up, but I really do need Stuck in Summoner Sanctum up this turn so we can counter them from like Bard's bowing up the lifelinker and trying to stabilize that way. And there it is. Stuck in Summoner Sanctum should get us the win here pretty much. Final Force Chomp. Beautiful. Retrieve the Esper. Flips our flying magicked card for a one-shot kill in the sky. And there's the concession from our opponent. That'll be 1-0 heading into game 2. Here we are for game 2. I'm going to keep this hand. It doesn't have any creatures in it, but we are a pretty creature-light deck, and hopefully the card collection up at the top of this curve finds us our threats. Playing against Boros. Suplex and Adelbert here. That card is very strong in that archetype. Boros is the equipment deck in the set. It has a bunch of those job select cards that come with tokens. Firion is terrifying in that deck. Stuck in Summoner Sanctum does not stop its triggered abilities, so we're not going to do that. We're probably going to Ice Magic Firion in response to them playing an equipment here to counteract the double up. There it is. Put Firion on top. Now they only get the one normal creature from Paladin's Arms. Now, Stuck in Summoner Sanctum just on a token is pretty bad, so we card collection. Not really finding any answers here. But we're digging farther. I think our deck just does not have a lot of ways to deal with cards with good triggered abilities. Like, triggered abilities specifically are very good against us. So Firion's going to be a rough one. Take the 3 here. Go to 14. They play a Dwarven Castle Guard. Sure. Poke. Retrieve. Magic Damper the removal. Five cards in grave. I could double lock the 5 with a 3-2 and a 2-1. I think we have to just stare at each other for a little bit. And we've got 2 more card collections in this deck, so we should have some really good top decks available, potentially. I guess it's probably for the best to hit that bomb before we hit more 4-mana spells. Alright, Aura Sight the 5/5. That is going to be a huge attack here then. It's also more mana for them. Yeah, Aura Sight is incredible on this board because they were already missing some lands here. And now it's like kill a token, so even if I did anything about the Aura Sight, they would not get, I would not get the card back. Cypher is not good on the defensive. I mean, it's 4 toughness, but still. A second white Aura Sight anyway. Yep, fair enough. Still really just looking for another card collection as our best draw by a landslide. Sagan's not great here. Come on. We've got one of the three in the top half of the deck. There's two more. Let's grab them. Graha is the play. Just huge card draw for our opponent. Mana is mana. Yep, equipment to go with Therian. And that is dead. 1-1 it is. Flooded out pretty hard on that one, sadly. And just not a good matchup for our removal spells. Alright, here we are on the play for game number 3. This is a very good hand. Just curve into a 4-mana spell to trigger both Shantado and Blazing Bomb. Like the bear companion before the game starts. What is he doing over there? Absolutely adorable. Auto Salam starts things off for our opponent. The green-blue dual land. Black Mage's Rod, turn 2. So they are black, blue, and green. Sultai stuff. There's Bard's Bow. Get a trigger, ping us for 1. We're going to start getting Shantado triggers, though. Another Blazing Bomb. I'm not going to get so greedy as to try to get Blazing Bomb out before this Retrieve the Esper, because they could go land and then Sephiroth's Intervention on Shantado. I'd really want to get at least one draw trigger off Shantado before she dies. Ultros. I still think our most important triggers, excuse me, squeaky chair, I still think our most important triggers by far are Shantado triggers, so we could just Warrior Sword immediately here. I do need to draw lands too, but like if I play Ultros plus Blazing Bomb before the Warrior Sword, that's a lot of triggers next turn. They held all their mana up. I'm just gonna draw the card here. At worst, we get the 6-mana Retrieve the Esper later. At worst. 3-3 for 3-3. Swamp Cycle of Marlborough. Cloud of Darkness for -1/-1. No, that's not ideal for our opponent. But Retrieve the Esper is not an ideal draw for us. I guess I just keep drawing cards. Where mana? Please. I am beg. Double block Blazing Bomb here. I think that's fine. Okay, they're down to 14. Balamti Rexar. Try to stabilize. They are over it. They don't even care anymore. Fair enough. 2-1 it is, heading into game number 4. Here we are for game 4. 2 mountains and 4 blue spells is not a keepable hand. We will mulligan that. Keep this one ditching a retrieve. We've got to hit some lands here, but we have Scorpion Sentinel no matter what we draw, and just a single land gives us a removal spell alongside them. And we have immediately drawn 2 lands in a row, which is perfect. That means we make it to 4 mana, which is the most important mana cost in the deck, obviously. Ooh, Shantaro's the draw. You love to see it. Shambling Seath. Get a 3/3. Threatens to be like a 7/3 or whatever, which is gnarly. Well, I drew a mountain and tutored for a mountain. A little redundant, but what can you do? Light of Judgment, tap out to just blow up Shantaro here rather than play more creatures out. Oh, it's just 6 power, not 7. Okay, that's not horrific, but it is painful. Now we cipher it up. Pretend we have the hexproof trick. Jam 6. Our top deck was yet another mountain, so we're really looking for spells. So if they have the removal for the cipher, we're just kind of completely out of action on just a bunch of mana. It looks like they don't have removal for cipher, at least not yet. Call the Mountain Chocobo and pass is the play. Perfect. Now even if they do have removal for cipher, we have the counter spell. Cast instance and source mana value 3 or less from grave, so even if I stuck the Chocobo, I don't recast something. I stuck the Chocobo to put them to 1, or I just have them trump with the Chocobo and pass. I feel like I'm supposed to put them to 1 here. It's not lethal. Put them to 1 and have a Chocobo chump blocker feels best. We got a Chocobo chump blocker and we got a counter spell up. Now if we ever go wide and just a single creature pokes through, they are dead. Send in the 6/3. Think we gotta say you got it, so that if the plan is like play another blocker here, they don't have the other blocker. No, exactly enough mana for Swallowed by Leviathan. Come on. I was hoping if they had some way to try to get lethal here, that counter unless they pay 5 would be enough, but they have exactly enough to get around that. Alright. That's pretty brutal. I still think that was the best way we could have played it by far. We just needed like one more spell. Too much mana here. The line here to play around Opera Love Song still just loses us the game because we chump block and then they like play another blocker. I guess I try to counter the other blocker though. Well, yeah, if the other blocker is 6 mana, then we would win. Yeah, maybe I had to chump there. But if the other blocker was like a 2 mana card, like Swallowed's not going to counter that, and then we can't attack without dying on the crackback anyway. On our next turn, I don't know. I think we were supposed to make them have it there. Like, we had the counter unless they pay 5. They needed 2 mana or less way to kill us on that swing. Or by attacking here, we make sure we have the 2 blockers. Playing a single extra blocker does not save them. They'd have to get 2 blockers in through our counterspell. Yeah. Alright. 2-2 it is, heading to game 5. Alright, here we are for game number 5. Solid little start here. Looks like the Blazing Bomb mirror match. Certainly would rather be on the play in the mirror match, but we can't control that. We will do what we can here. Let's see. Turn 1 Blazing Bomb on the play, slightly better than turn 1 Blazing Bomb on the draw. Advantage meter, slightly in opponent's favor. Alright, bomb for bomb trade. And then Sage's Newliths. We draw a land. Pass. Take 2. Uh-oh. Low curve hand over there. I would have loved another island here to hold up Magic Damper, but the play is still Scorpion Sentinel over Stuck in Summoner Sanctum. Their best card there has good triggered abilities we can't stop. The Ultros. Now we have a Sahagin. Still no second blues. Not fun. So I can't protect them. Okay, at least they don't have the removal yet either. Where are my islands at? Pass through, hold up Stuck in Summoner Sanctum, the Magic Damper. Any land in the deck, we go 4-drop plus Magic Damper at this point. Perfect. Well, not perfect. Island would be perfect. 4th mound's a little embarrassing, but still gives us the trigger plus hold up Magic Damper, which is still good. I probably want to Blazing Bomb their Ultros. Worst case scenario, trade into a Magic Damper with it. Yeah, that's fine. Land 4. Ring of the Lucy. So they have a just bajillion mana now. That really gets them out of that mana situation. Stun the 4/3 here. I don't think I'm supposed to Magic Damper a stun. But I'm so stuck on blue mana, it could be worth it. Okay, thank goodness. That's a hard choice between the Swallowed by Leviathan and the Stuck in Summoner Sanctum for the final discard there. Probably playing a Shentado and sticking their Sahagin at this point. They're at 15, we're at 12. This is going to be a close fight. I'm going to send in here. Kill Sentinel on a 1/1 here. Have mine up on blocks. They have their own Magic Damper. It's really good against Stuck in Summoner Sanctum because you don't even have to have it in response at the right time. You can do it later. Yep. Sorceress's Schemes, Magic Damper, untaps the Hagen, and then because of the other thing, it basically has Vigilance, so the Stuck in Summoner Sanctum doesn't do anything. It's also another Ultros trigger. That's a really good... oh my god, a second Call the Mountain Chocobo. They can double Ultros trigger and untap the Sahagin. Disgusting combo there. Yep. Cypher does not do it. They just play anything and kill us with Sahagin next turn, and that is a game. 2 and 3 it is. Rough run for this deck. I think it definitely could have done better here, but some of those earlier games of Magic, we hit a lot of lands in. Final game was a pretty close little back and forth there, but Sorceress's Schemes is an absolute banger. Kind of crushes us there. Biggest flaw of this deck by far is the lack of early removal, specifically early like instant sorcery-based removal, like some fire magics, or not fire magics, but lightning magics, thunder magics. Thunder magics. Some thunder magics would have gone a really long way. The 1 mana deal 2 that you can then kick for like 4 mana. Some more of those kind of cards are more ice magics and stuff like that. Would have helped a whole ton. Like if we had a way to kill Ultros there, our deck is monumentally weak to cards with really strong triggered abilities, and that's how we lost 2 of our games, right? The fact that we could not stop the Ultros from constantly stunning our stuff no matter how we played, because we just don't have removal that stops it. We only stop basically attackers. And then also the Furion in the other game, we had no way of stopping its triggered abilities of doubling up their equipment, so the removal in the deck is pretty bad and really pulled down the record. This is a big, big showing of why Stuck in Summoner Sanctum is very mediocre removal and not one that I usually take super, super high unless I'm just like locked in on blue like I was here. I prefer almost all the other common removal spells over it, and we really saw its flaws today. So Stuck in Summoner Sanctum by far the biggest underperformer today and the biggest issue with our deck. When it came to like finishers and win conditions and stuff, Shantado, Triple Bomb, Sahagin, Cypher, felt like more than enough. Those were really good. We just needed better spells overall to really improve this deck. And so that's going to drag it down here to just a 2-3 record. Absolute reverse world draft today. We get the 7 win in Avatar and now the 2 win in Final Fantasy. What's going on? What the heck? It is what it is. That is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed and you're interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm send some more in your recommended feed. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. And other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.